What's going on, people? Salam alaikum. Peace. That's all it means. I'm not a Muslim. So I just practice peace for everyone to know. Okay, listen, let's get into it. Let's talk about what we came here to talk about. This is the first lesson, I will say. More of a, okay, I got to go ahead and get it out. This lesson is only for 7 states. Let me get that disclaimer. I'm gonna let you guys know it's not for everybody. It's only for educational purposes. These are my translation. No one taught me this translation. No one gave it to me within the physical realm. No one can help be held accountable that you can point at and say they taught me what I know. You know that you know, but okay. There are informational speakers that I go to gather. So I just gather all that information and put it in its right place. So this is called the Forbidden Translation of Biblical History. Hmm? Part one. I'm about to show you guys I'm not from Adam and Eve. I'm saying I. If you resonate with this, and I'm pretty sure you will, then this is for you. In these 7 states, let's go with this first. Let's identify and resonate where this information is pointed to. That's California, Arizona, Texas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Illinois, Michigan. Them the only 7 states that this is resonated to. And this is a gift. This is a gift that I have for the streets. Something that will bring them more joy than sorrow. All you have to do is come and understand. I'm not asking you to follow me. I'm not asking, do not follow me. I'm asking you to just understand what I'm saying is for use. I have it. And I have it for use. I already got it. So it's not for me anymore. I already got it. We have all these religious groups that haven't figured this Bible out yet because it's not in them. It's not their bloodline that wrote this, so they won't figure it out. But you have all these babies and dying. You had these babies killing babies. You had these mothers and fathers is not there no more, and it's suffering. I'm just talking about these 7 states. Not saying I don't love everybody else, but I can only focus on my traffic ticket. I can only focus on my traffic ticket. So we're going to get into the first forbidden translation. This translation right here is only for the streets. This translation right here, if you not from the streets in these 7 states that I announced, please do not comment. You will not get a response. You would not get a response. And I'm going to know how you conversate if you're from these states. But if you're not from these states, you're not going to get a response from the bear. You ain't going to get no response from the grizzly bear. I tell you, I'm not going to give it to you. I can't give it to you. Let them give it to you. Maybe they'll give you a response, but I can't give you no response. Whoever resonate and understand this educational outlook. I am a human rights consultant, and I will show my certificate a little bit later. I am a ordained minister for the streets. The streets only. No one is going to the streets and teaching them the truth. No one is going to the streets and unraveling the Bible because you got churches almost on every corner. And that's supposed to be the God, the house of God. No, I'm gonna tell you, they wrong. They wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong. They're wrong. They love. It's all in love. It's all in love. It's all in love. But I'm only saying these 7 states is my out of my perimeter. You're not wrong. To each his own. Out of my perimeter, much blessing to you in your community and all that stuff. I help you, you help me, but my structure of this 7, I got to stand up for it. Here you go, brother. Here you go, sister. Out there in the streets, you connected to the streets. You know how. You have that slango. You have that information. You have that know-how. You have that sequence, and it doesn't matter what color. I'm not talking about a color. I'm talking about an energy that's in my streets, in our streets, in black, white, don't matter. Politician, Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. This education is for you. I'm unravel this for you. So let me give much praise to Salam. Salam alaikum. Peace. Let me give honors to my mamas, dads, sisters, and brothers. Give an honor to Marcus Garvey, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the messenger Elijah Muhammad, all the presidents of my country that did well. All my presidents did well. I don't care what nobody said, they did well. So let's get into the first lesson of forbidden translation. And I'm going to show you guys Adam and Eve is not a part of the creation story. Number one. You have to understand how this Bible is written. This is not the New Vise or the 1611 King James Version. This is different. This came out of 1599 and in that era, and it's always been written in English. This Bible from history have always been written in one language, and that was English. It was written in one language, and that was English. 1599, all them, the Protestants, all them. Who King James was? King James was over England, but he wasn't English. England did not speak English. They spoke what? Celtic? A form of Greek? They wasn't speaking English. English was brought to them. So who brought it to them? You did, sister. You did, brown brother. These are brown people that don't have no problem with no other nation on this planet. That's where the streets come in. The streets don't have a problem with there's no nationality. There's no racism in our streets. There's no racism in the streets. I don't care if you racist. I don't care what organization you are. If you Masons and Moors and Hebrews. Wait. Them niggas. I mean, whoops. I'm sorry. Them brothers. They kind of racist. We ain't talking about the natural bondation of you wanting to be with your own kind. We're not talking about that. We talking about straight up racism, you devil. I'm going to show you guys everything you need to know. So let's get into it. The first people. Let's talk about the creation story. Who was created in the creation story? Let's go. Let's go get it. Let's go check it out, y'all. And I'm just going. When we get enough people, we will have like Bible readings together. We got to get a beautiful sister up here to. It doesn't matter what color, but we have all different colors reading different. Whatever we have in our this is the house of this truth. This house of truth. I want the sisters to read. Brother, we go gather the information. Sisters, y'all read it. Okay, here we go. The first chapter of Genesis. This is where the creation, everything of the first chapter of Genesis, in the beginning, God created. So let you know that this first chapter of Genesis is pertaining to the heavens and the earth, the creation of the heavens and earth. This is first chapter of Genesis. So we're gonna go into the creation of man. We'll get into other creations that was put forth or whatever, but we're gonna talk about me, my people, my sister, my brother, the original man on this planet. Let's talk about them right quick. So when you go to Genesis 26, let me break this down for you guys. I'm going to show you later that God, G-O-D, is the feminine aspect. It's the woman. The capital G-O-D is the woman. The lowercase G-O-D is the masculine. It's the masculine. That's how this nature is really, really, really formatted. Majority of the nature is beings. The woman is bigger than the male. Majority of it, not all, but majority. So that's really how this is really orchestrated. It doesn't mean big gods and little gods, and depending on where you're illustrating it. But here, the G-O-D is female aspect, is a female nature. So let's get it. Hold on, what I mean by female nature, meaning that this is the whole. So when you're saying to God, let us make man in our image after our likeness. See, in that sentence, you're talking about the whole, male and female. You got to know when it's singularizing, far as male and female, and it's just singularizing female aspect, this female energy. So Genesis 26, God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth. Back up. God said, let us. Number one, us is not singular. Us is two or more. God said, let us make man. Man is a physical thing. We have to understand that. Man is a physical thing. So God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. One is a picture, one is an attribute. And we have to really be educated enough to know far as energy, not educated far as books, to understand the difference between an image and your likeness. So I'm going to be safe to say that your likeness or your attributes, the image is a picture. We safe right there. Those are two different energies right there. Two different entities, two different identities. Do not emerge them both, because you got a comma right there, and then you got our likeness with a help sequence. So them are two different energies. So you have to pick and choose which one is which, but it doesn't matter which one is which, you're going to have the same result. One is a picture and one is your attributes. So we're going to say your likeness is your attributes. Okay, 27. So God created man in his own image. Hold on. Blow the whistle, throw the flag. You have to understand in the detail what this is saying, because it said it singularized it. It's singularized. It's singularized. So God created man in his own image. We have to understand 26. God is us. It's more than one. But sometimes it was singularized male and female energy, or it would just singularize female energy. It's not male alone. It's never male alone. It's already the capital God is either female energy alone or male and female. So here you're going to see it's male and female, even though it's singular. You have to always understand us. So even though it's singular, this guy right here is male and female because it understand the image that was made, because it said right there, God created man in his own image. Now up there, remember it said after in the man in his image, after his likeness, but here it's singularizing, identifying what you're talking about, and that's the image of the picture. And it says right there, created man in his image, in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. Huh? I want y'all to go understand. I want y'all to go study, or I want y'all to go look up. Say she in Hebrew mean he. All of this is not Hebrew, but it is some Hebrew words thrown in there that you can go get to identify what they're talking about. And right here, the he is a she. That's why I say he, him. You put an S right there, you have she. You cannot have she without he. But right here, you have to understand these are not two males. It tells you right there, male and female. So that he has a feminine energy to it. That him have a masculine energy to it. This is a physical thing, you guys. You have to understand that this is not a spirit. When it said, let us make man in our image, this is a physical thing. So whatever man have, if we call ourselves man, not mankind, this is man, the original. We didn't come as Neanderthals and Homo sapiens. Not saying that the Darwin theory is not saying that we came from them, that we hold the same DNA, like 98% of DNA of them. So we in the haplogroup column. We're gonna dispute that, and we're gonna tell you the reason why. We're gonna show you the reason why you have DNA structures of every single living thing on this planet. But anyway, but right here, you have to understand the saying, let us make man. So whatever image, whatever picture, when you take a picture, that picture is in the image of you. When you have children, first man and woman, I'm sorry, I got to separate because we're only talking about first man and woman. We talking about before Adam and Eve. So that we know good and well there was no other people on this planet during that time, 20, 30,000 years ago, whenever time this was a long, because it said in the beginning, but I doubt the beginning of the planet, but the beginning of beings being on this planet. And the first being had melanated skin from the sun. Beings come later, and we show universal love, but we talk about first man and woman. That's what this is. At the same time, God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he, him, male and female, created them. He, them. See, that he is the woman first, and then them come out later. Why? Because we come out the belly of a woman. Male and female comes out of the woman. Male and female comes out of the woman. So he have to be first. in order for male and female to come out to have them. That's them. That's the them. Us, the male and female, the sister, the babies, the children. This is how I got here. My people of the 7 states, of the streets. This is how we got here, the one with the melanated skin. We not later on we show the adaptation of everybody else that we show love to. But right now I'm just talking about the melanated brother and sister of the first genetic structure on this planet. Here we go. Right here. Now, hmm, that's our information. That's our structural background. That's first man and woman. If you want to call them, that's the first Adam and Eve. A lot of our preachers, and it went into the Islamic community, and it spread it to the Hebrew that this is a spiritual Adam and Eve, and then the physical came later. No, I'm going to show you why I say no. Remember, this is the forbidden translation of biblical history. So we're going to stay in chapter 1. Now we're going to go down. We just read the 27th verse. God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created them. The very next verse, and God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowls of the air, over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Spirit cannot be fruitful and multiply. Huh? Spirit is not having dominion over this. This physical is. Man. I created man in my image. Man, physical. So that debunks that. Quit telling my people that. This is not a spiritual creation. This is the first man and woman that arrived on this planet. God was the first man and woman. God is us, our woman and our man, our brothers, us, my dads, my moms. Later on, we're going to show them how we integrated with everybody else, and everything was cool. Everything was fine. As long as everybody understand who we are the guys, the capital G-O-D and the lowercase G-O-D. Other guys came later. Them other guys is not false. It's how you read into the story and who you talking to. But the first man and woman on this planet were the gods, created man in the image. Who's in your image? Your children. We are the children of this. We are this. When we leave this, we go back to the universe. It's natural being. It's a recycle. We have to communicate why we're here. This is how the universe communicate. This is how the universe enjoy and rest for all the work that it's doing out there. Bring it together. Atoms and putting them all and holding them and the sonic booms. It need rest. So in order for it to rest, it had to go into an inhabitation. And the positive side of the universe is right here, this first man and woman. The negative side came later. The negative side of the universe is Adam and Eve. And let's get back into it. Now, the second verse of Genesis. Thus the heaven and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. Hold on, wait a minute. Stop right there. There's a focal point right there. Remember, on the sixth day, man was created. On the seventh day, the seventh day, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his works. You have to understand, it's singularizing to your understanding, but remember us. But anyway, and on the seventh day, God ended his works which he had made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his works which he had made. Right there, the whole creation story is done. The creation of this planet is done. Right there. Everything you can imagine that was supposed to have been here was done. That's the seventh day. Let's go into it. Because this is what they imagine, that because what was done north, east, and south, north, south, and west, they don't understand you have an east, and we're going to explain that right here. And this is where they're talking about the generation, because it was already done. Remember in the first chapter? We'll go back to that. It was already examples. So watch this. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. You see what I'm saying? When they was created. This is not that first chapter with no energy, with no spirit thing, spiritual thing. It's it right there. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. Talk about past tense afterwards. Talk about afterwards. When they was created. In the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. Watch this. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth. And every herb on the field, on every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God, you see what I'm saying? For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But when you remember all that stuff in the first chapter, it was grass and all that. So what is about to be done? This is the area. This is the area where the other beings is about to come. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. Now, this is a different situation here. The whole ground is the whole planet. And the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground. Watered the ground. Why it have to be watered? Because that's where the cells are at. The cells is alive. When water hit, cells become alive. They're dormant. They're already here, but they're dormant until that rain hit, to that earthly water, until that hit the ground, they're dormant. They say and the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground. It didn't say from the earth, it just said from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils. Breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now this is a formalization. It said God formed man, not create. This was not a creation story. This is not me. This is not where I'm from. I'm not from man. I'm not from this man. This is mankind. Because it was a mist of water. It was a mist. And it watered the whole planet, all the ground. Okay, the ground of the east. Whatever ground they was at. I'm finna show you where they was at. That ground. And the Lord formed man from the dust of the ground. So this is not creation. And where did man form? Because it says that God formed man from the dust of the ground. So God had to, after there's been water, had to went to go get these enzymes and these cells, single cell. That's why they're single cell, we're multi-cell. Breathe into their nostrils the breath of life. Now this is when the energy goes into, and man became a living soul. In need of energy. This is in order for the universe to communicate, just like we did. In order for us to exist on this plane, we had to embody. We had to be a portion of the body. We have to have a body to live among us. That's why we got protection. We have to have, that's part of our body. The insides, the proton, that's part of our body. So they needed a body too to live amongst us. But these the ones, the negative side, it never supposed to have came here. It never supposed to have been here. But these are the negative beings. Wait a minute. Let me rearrange that. These beings, even though they're negative, they're needed. Hold on. Let me formulate you. There's the negative side of the universe. They're needed, and then because they're not originally a part of this side, they have to go back to the negative side. Huh? They have to reincarnate into the negative side where they once they leave here, where they live forever. We're on the positive side. Okay, and the Lord God formed man from the dust of the ground, with the breath in his life, breathe in his nostrils, the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed, not create, formed. These are genetically modified fleshly beings. The host, the body of a fleshly, the body is a fleshly host for a different being, not the first man or woman on this planet. As far as what we see, as far as when man came in, they came in 8,000 years later. How can I calculate that? Because on the seventh day, everything was done. So they was formed on the 8th day. That's 1,000 years. So the rest of the 1,000 years, and got up 8 and created them. Okay, now let's go down to the Eve. Now peep this out. Let's see why. How do you know that Adam and Eve, at least Eve? I don't know if y'all can understand that. Adam was formed from molecules and cells, single cell molecules out of the ground. Eve was supposed to have been formed from man. Let's see. But before we do that, we're going to go to 17. 16. The Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it, for the day thou eat of it, thou shalt die. Hmm? 9. Let's go up to 9. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for the food, and the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. People, these trees of life also, the tree of life also, and the tree in the midst of the garden. In the midst of the garden. So they give you the trees, so all the herbs that was pleasant and good for food. The tree of life also. So this is a different tree. This is not the tree that's added for the pleasance of the eyesight, and it's not the tree that's good for food. This is a different tree. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden. Hold on. And the tree, and another one, and is an add-on. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. These trees right here, the tree of life is my woman, my mama, my grandmama, my ancestor, female aspect. She the one that bring forth the life. The life is in her. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is I. I hold both cortisones, male and female cortisones. I hold them. I don't hold all the female because I'm not female. But male do have an X cortisone. This have a lot of meanings. A lot of meanings. I have the knowledge of good and evil. You're universal grounded. You're universally grounded when you have the knowledge of good and evil and know how to use it. So the trees, they was planted in the garden in 17. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For in that day thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. It never said an apple. But this tree, these trees, it was commanded for Adam, the man that was formed, not to eat of it, to leave it alone. Don't touch it. The tree of life he couldn't get to. Because the tree of knowledge of good and evil is right there in between. Nothing. We protected our women. Nothing can get in between us and our women. Nothing. So whatever knowledge these trees have, whatever the good and evil, because Adam was only, when you read up here, he was only made to till the ground. Man was formed to till the ground. And you will see all the minerals and stuff in the what is the oxen stones and the land of Ethiopia, the same, the Grecian, what is the other one, the Hekadako? they would, but anyway, these creatures, these men, these beings, these atoms was formulated only to till the ground. to mind. They didn't have no feelings or nothing, but just to mind. They didn't supposed to them to get information. They didn't supposed to come get this information. They knew about us, but they didn't supposed to come over here and get it. Now let's get into the Eve part of it. We're going to go read this together. But let's get into the Eve part of it. This really going to give you the understanding that these are the genetically modified humans. That's who the ones that was formed. They was formed in a laboratory. Because look here, it says, and it says in 8, and the Lord God planted a garden eastward. If you got an eastward, you got a northward, you got a southward, and you got a westward. So these men, the one that was formed, the men that was formed was put eastward. Here, planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put man, whom he formed. The whole planet was considered Eden. The whole entire planet was considered Eden. On the land, the ground, where he took the enzymes and formed man, man was put, this man that he formed, whom he had formed, was only put eastward. So when we're talking about them, we're only talking about a portion of the land. Okay, now let's go into Eve. How Eve got here. This is genetically modified. Look. 21, second chapter 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam. He caused this. And he slept. That right there, anesthetic. You going into surgery. And he took one of his ribs. After he put him to sleep, he cut him open. Watch. This is how I know he cut him open. But he cut him open and took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh. That's how you know he cut him open. This is a surgery. And closed up the flesh instead thereof. This is a surgery, y'all. I'm telling you. In all love, this is a surgery. The rib, 22, the rib which the Lord God had took from man, took it, made he a woman, and brought her unto him. So he took the rib, God, she, them, took the rib of Adam, of their first form, and went and made a woman. And the Lord God had took from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto him. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Hold on. How would, if Adam was first man and woman, how would he know about a mother and a father? Okay, let's say he know about the father. But if there's not a mother there, how would he know about a mother? Adam didn't have a mother. Unless, I'm telling you, God, the capital, depending on where you put it at, is male and female. And then all again, depending on you put it at, it's just female. But 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So you tell me, if this is not a genetically modified story of showing you how man that's not of us came upon this planet and we formed them and genetically modified them. After taking this rib, how in the world Eve can completely be from Adam? We understand that half and half is what makes a baby. Half the dads, half the moms. Okay, now this is woman that's coming. He called him woman. Where did she get her reproduction system from? It tells you right there, his mother. They had to genetically modify from the mama. This is why this is forbidden translation, because I'm telling you the truth. And this is only for monetize, monitor, scan, do whatever to, but only for these 7 states that this information is for, that this information has been targeted to bring to you. So you can understand, brothers and sisters, you come to the right foundation. Don't matter what color you are. You come to the right foundation, negative and positive. It's all love. Just, I'm going to dictate. We're going to let the streets dictate. But at the same time, come all. No matter who you are, come. In these 7 states, you're part of these streets. If you criticize in the streets, go on away. It's not for you. And everybody that's politicians and all that stuff, they're not everyone not criticizing the street. It's a lot that go on that it's not even their job to even care about. Say they don't know, but there's a lot of stuff that do know. So at the same time, I'm just letting you know that right here is universal. We stand on universal principles. And this is a forbidden translation that I'm bringing you. And they were birthed naked, and the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. Why they wasn't ashamed? This is information that's saying that they was naked because they seen their mama and daddy. They seen other beings. They came from other beings. They seen these trees. So let's go in and dictate and illustrate and showing you guys how this Bible, when it was written, when the authors and when the energy moved through the authors, they read it in a certain form called philosophy. As philosophy use a lot of what they call what they call them. Use a lot of parables. Let me put it like that. Philosophy use a lot of metaphors. I'm sorry, y'all. Philosophy use a lot of metaphors. And I'm going to show you guys the metaphor that's being used here is proving that these trees are us, are people. I'm going to go into the New Testament and I'm going to go into the Old Testament. So first, I'm going into the Old Testament. Let's do it like that. I'm gonna go over here, Judges chapter 9. And we're gonna skedaddle down here to what? The 8th verse? Okay, let's go with the the 8th verse. No, the 7th verse. Please forgive me, y'all, if I butcher these words. That's why we need a woman up here reading. And when they told it to Jotham, he went and stood in the top of the mountain Gerizim, and lifted up his voice, and cried, and said unto them, Hearken to me, ye men of Shechem, that God made hearken unto you. The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them, and they stood unto the olive tree, and they said unto the olive tree, Reign over us. But the olive tree said unto them, Shall I leave my fatness, wherewith me and the honor of God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees? Let's do a few more. And the tree said unto the fig tree, Come thou and reign over us. But the fig tree said unto them, Shall I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit, and go to be promoted over the trees? Then said the trees unto the vine, Come thou, reign over us. And the vine said unto them, Shall I leave my wine, which cheereth God and man, and go be promoted over the trees? 14. Then said all the trees unto the bramble, Come thou and reign over us. And the bramble said unto the trees, If in truth ye anoint me king over you, thou come and put your trust in my shadow. And if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedar and Lebanon. So right here, people, the trees went forward a time to anoint a king over them. It's impossible for a tree, a physical non-tree out there that yielded fruits and vegetables and herbs, to ask another tree to reign over him, over her. It said the trees went forward. So there was a gathering of trees went forward on a time and anointed a king over them. All right? So this writer is identifying a nation as trees. People, physical people as trees. Okay. Let's go in the New Testament. I don't like this Old New Testament. I just love it that it's one book. But let's go over here. Let's go to the book of Mark. The 8th chapter. 24th verse. So let's go up. 23. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he when he had spit on his eyes, he put his hand upon him, and he asked him if he saw aught. He looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. Again, this writer is showing you identification of trees being identified as men. I know you by the fruit that you bear. You're not a tree, physical tree, but this writer is identifying you as such. That's what this writer doing. That's exactly what this writer is doing. It's identifying the first man and woman that came upon this planet as trees. We went over, let's see, let's see, what's that? Genesis 1:11. And look, again, the first creation, everything is blooming. Let me show you our heaven. 7. And God made a firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. And the evening and the morning were the second day. Here it never get night. When we first came upon this planet, it never got night. But we would call evening night. But what we call night now, it was evening. It wasn't never like right now. It wasn't never no light. But again, I hope y'all understand. Go over this. Read this. Let's go over it one more time for you to understand when I'm saying I'm not from Adam and Eve. I'm from the first man and woman on this planet. In order for me to get here, first man and woman have to what? And God said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish. I'm a part of that. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish. I'm part of that replenishment. So I hold their genetics. And God created man in his image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female. And we also have to understand that God is us. What was made? Man. That what was made? Man. Closing. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys understand that no one like orchestrated this information. No one. This is a gather of suffering for our people. Or in order for me to bring this to you, I had to turn down a lot of turn downs that you wouldn't imagine that should be turned down to get this information. This information is for the 7 states. Doesn't matter what color. This is not a racist thing. When you're standing on universal principle, there's no race. It's only negative and positive, and they belong on the stream that they're belonging. So I'm here to let you know this is forbidden translation. This translation should have never been sprouted in this way. And it's only forbidden to those that care. It's only forbidden to those that think that it doesn't matter. But those that does believe that it matters, this translation is for you guys. It's to withhold and understand you guys. It's to bring a peace in the community with you guys. It's to give you the understanding of who I am. I'm about to give you a broader understanding, and we're going to be out. We're going to go into the book of Psalms. That's where I'm headed, y'all. That's where I'm headed, to the book of Psalms, people. Chapter 82. How about that? Chapter 82. Now we're going to get it from the beginning to the end. It's only 8 verses. A psalm of Asaph. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judges amongst the gods. The congregation is mighty, so all of them, all of this, God and little God, both of these guys, they are your gods. They are your gods. You see, the big God is standing in the congregation of the mighties. Who are the mighties? He judged amongst the gods. The lowercase, these are the males. Huh? How long shall ye judge unjustly and accept the person of the wicked? Salah. That salat is a closure. That salat is done. It's a question. And then salat is closed. The question has been asked, and now I'm closing with salat. With salah. Salah. It's over. Put your head to bed. Answer the question. Defend the poor. Do just to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Ride them out of the hands of the wicked. Rid them out of the hands of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All of the foundation of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for all shall inherit all nations. That's me right there. That's my energy. That's where I'm from. The congregation of gods, male and female. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Let me see what we're going to play. What y'all move? Okay, that's nice. Peace and love. Salam alaikum.